In this video, we are going to learn how to draw text onto the screen, so by the end, you should have whatever words you want up into your window. We started by creating a new Java project. Here I called mine Notebook. And we have our new class, also called Notebook. Now this is the exact same as the Red Window class we created earlier. The only thing I changed is the name from Red Window to Notebook. So any place that has Red Window, replace it with Notebook. I also changed the name of the object to Book, so you'll also need to replace that. Now, let's look at our paint method. So if we go down to our paint method, I don't want to have a red window. Let's create our background to be white. So change that to color.white. Then after that, we need to set the color for our text. So we want to draw some black text, g.setColor to color.black. After that, we need to draw the text, which is just going to be the method g.drawString. And then in parentheses, we need to pass it three things. First thing we need is the actual words we're going to put. Let's say we're doing a grocery list, so I'm going to say 3 eggs. Then we need the x value, how far from the left it's going to be. Let's say 10. And y, how far from the top that string is going to appear. Let's say 60. And so that would draw 3 eggs onto the screen. Let's copy that and make some other additions to our grocery list. So let's say we also want 1 gallon of milk and we want 1 loaf of bread. And we don't want these strings to overlap each other, so we need to change the y value. Let's increase it by 20 each time, so we've got 80 for the gallon of milk and 100 for the y value of bread. Now let's run that program, and there we have our window with all of those grocery items that we said. Now let's look at some other things we can do. Let's say we wanted to change the text. We wanted to make it bigger or a new font. Or we want to make it bold or something. So to do that, we need g.setFont, and then we need to pass it a font, which we can do by saying new font. Now we need to import font from java.awt.font, so it can find that. Back down to our paint method, in our new font, we need to pass it 3 things. We need to pass it the name of the font we want. I'm just going to say Times New Roman. Then we need to pass it the special things such as font.bold. Let's say I want this title to be bold. Then lastly, we need to pass it the size. I want mine to be 24. That's a pretty big for a nice title. Now we want to draw the actual text for our title. So g.drawString again. And I am going to call my title a grocery list. And I'm going to have the x value be 10 again and the y value be 20. And so now let's reset our font to the smaller size for the other 3 items. So let's just do the same thing down here. And we still want Times New Roman, but let's set it to font.plain, which means no modifiers like bold or italics. And let's also change the size to 16 and run it. And there we have our grocery list with our title and our 3 items. So now you know how to draw some text onto the screen.